Every single person is different when it comes to PCOS. It's a spectrum. So it's so great to be able to have all of these labs so I know exactly what's going on in my body. I was diagnosed with PCOS in 2018, so 2.5 years and 1 baby later, I thought it would be awesome to take a look back at my blood work, what it was when I was first diagnosed, and then what it was after I had our daughter. I know a lot of you guys are wondering what kind of blood work to get, so if that's your question, you're gonna get that answered. But if you're also wondering, like a lot of women, does PCOS get reversed? Do your hormones kind of go back to what they were after pregnancy? Because some people's I heard did, and I was really curious about that too. So you're gonna learn that as well. Big bulk of the hormones or the lab testing we're gonna go over are our stress, sex hormones, thyroid, our metabolic numbers, cholesterol, inflammation, and vitamins. Let's talk about DHEA. It is the kind of marker for your adrenal health and like your stress. So in 2018, my number was 215. I almost said 2015. 215, and in 2020, after I had our daughter, it was 181. So it was a little bit lower, which is good. Surprising after having a baby and being stressed, you'd think it'd be higher, but things to improve your adrenal health and DHEA are like taking magnesium, maybe watching your caffeine intake, really focusing on sleep, and then doing a ton of stress management things like meditation and yoga and all that. My sex hormones, which are FSH, estradiol, total testosterone, progesterone, and these are all going to change based on where you are in your cycle. So this is kind of, you need to pay attention to when you're getting your blood work done so that you know kind of what the normal ranges are for specific phases of your cycle. So FSH for me in 2018 was 4.3, and in 2020 was 4.9. Estradiol, I might be saying that wrong, was 25.8 in 2018 and 26.5 in 2020. Total testosterone was 22.9 and now is 21.4. And then progesterone was 8.5. And then for some reason, I just could not find this on my blood work. But based on all of the rest of the numbers, I'm gonna assume that it was similar because I've been having regular cycles, which is key for progesterone, and all of my other numbers are kind of been the same. So comparing when I was first diagnosed to post-baby, all of my sex hormones were pretty similar, which I think is cool. Thyroid, for me, in 2018, my TSH was 5, and my TSH after baby was 5.2. So it had gone up. I hadn't been taking my prescription because I ran out and like baby things just got crazy and never refilled it. And I wasn't like it wasn't like high on my priority list at the time. And then free T4 was 1.09 and then 1.03. And then free T3 was 2.6 and then 2.7. So really similar. And so that number, that TSH number, is really what your brain is sending to your thyroid hormone. The T3 and T4 are like the actual thyroid hormone like in your bloodstream. So that's why it's so important to do like a full thyroid panel. Your TSH might not necessarily give you a full picture. So 5 is definitely considered hypothyroid. So I was already, and then I was like even more post-baby. So I was kind of hoping that that would level out after having like going through pregnancy for PCOS, but that was not the case for me. So after this, we got back on my thyroid, and then I'm doing just some natural healing through just lifestyle changes and nutrition, and I'll link some helpful resources to balance hormone or thyroid naturally below. Those are the thyroid things. So let's talk about metabolic, which is really important for PCOS. A lot of women can be insulin resistant, and it's definitely, blood sugar is just like a huge factor when it comes to PCOS. So my fasting glucose in 2018 was 89, and then it was 94 in 2020, and my insulin was 5.4 in 2018 and 6.4 in 2020, so it's a little bit higher. And then my A1c was 5.1 and then 5.2, and I think you definitely want it under 5.4, I believe, somewhere in like the 4 to 5 range. So insulin's job is to clear like blood sugar from your bloodstream, and so it's really, really important. And blood sugar, I have found to be just a huge factor in healing PCOS. It causes stress in your body. It makes you just, your hormones go all up and down. So if you can kind of keep your blood sugar level throughout the day and not like all these spikes and dips, that's something that I'm really focusing on right now. So kind of compared from 2018 to 2020 and kind of similar, just a little bit elevated post-baby. And then my lipid panel, which is like all your cholesterol. So in 2018, my cholesterol was 201, which I think the max range of like normal is 200. So I was just like right on the cusp of being high, but actually after baby, my cholesterol was 239, which is considered high. And that was something that I was working with functional nurse practitioner on to try to figure out ways to get this down. And the thing that I've been doing the most is balancing my blood sugar. I was nursing at the time when I got these, so we thought maybe because that can elevate your cholesterol nursing. So we took it again, I think in December after I was done nursing, and it was still high. So definitely focusing on that because that's super important just for overall health. And then my LDL was 120 and then in 2018, and now it's 153. HDL was 72 and now it's 69. And then triglycerides was 47 and now it's 85. Post-baby, I thought this was interesting. I think when I was pregnant and post-baby, I was really sick, and then I was focused on keeping a human alive, so I wasn't super focused on a lot of the lifestyle and eating things, and that definitely shows, I think, through my cholesterol. It's one of the things that for some reason is jumping up for me, and that has been just a huge focus after I got all this blood work last year. So CRP, or like your inflammation markers, there's two of them that you can measure. It's your CRP and your GGT, and I'm just so passionate about eating to reduce inflammation and just living a lifestyle that reduces inflammation. I wrote a book on it, so this is just like so like important to me. It just affects so many different things in your body, not just PCOS, but if you have arthritis, and just as you age, your chances of having more inflammation go up. So I am just so passionate and interested in inflammation, and my CRP level was 0.3 in 2018, and it just said less than 1 this time. So that's good. I think you want 0 to 10 is the ideal range for that number. So I was really happy because that's really what I love, eating anti-inflammatory, and it's definitely cool to see the numbers show that it's actually really helping my body. And then my GGT number, which is like your oxidative stress in your blood, was 12, and then in 2020 it was 8. And I think the ideal range is somewhere between 0 and 60. So I'm like really good in that. So that just makes me really proud, and knowing like that all the effort, and just like not the effort, but just the way I'm living and eating and thinking about what goes into my body is making a difference. And then the last thing that we checked was some of my vitamins, vitamin D, B12, and ferritin. So my vitamin D in 2018 was 34.7, and in 2020 it was 30, which is not surprising because we live in Ohio, we don't get a lot of sunshine. The lower end of normal is 30, so I am like right on the cusp, and she was like, you need to be doing a lot more. So I just take a vitamin supplement, and that helps with that. So definitely still focusing on that. And then B12 was 1,196 and is 566. And I think you want to be between 230 and 1,200. That's like just normal ranges. And then ferritin, which is your iron storing vitamin, was 106 and then 54. I think the ideal range is between 15 and 150. So I'm still in that range. And that is pretty much all of the blood work that I got done in 2018 to check where I am for PCOS. And then in 2020, I just think it's so cool to see the difference and learn that. I think overall the big takeaway is that things didn't really change much. In fact, I was a little bit worse than I was when I first got diagnosed. I think the huge takeaways for me are you have to see a doctor and get specific blood work for you, because you need to know what's going on in your body. Even though you have PCOS, your numbers are just gonna be different compared to somebody else that has PCOS. You may get your blood work back and it's nothing like mine, but you still have PCOS. So knowing exactly what's going on in your body and then having a plan to heal is just like crucial. I think anti-inflammatory and eating anti-inflammatory is another big reason why I've been able to keep my PCOS kind of leveled and healing, and kind of in just like not in this healing phase, just in this like steady phase. And then obviously blood sugar balancing, trying to eat fiber, fat, greens, and protein with every meal. I hope this was helpful for you. I hope this is going to arm you with the information that you need, maybe to take to your doctor, or just have more information of like where your labs are. I am going to include a link to another video that is all about my PCOS supplements based on all my blood work. So be sure to check that out. It's all PCOS related supplements.